So how do we manage this? Really, that's the most important, especially with the way that everything's going right now, where everyone's working remotely. How easy is this to deploy? How easy is it to manage? Now here we do have that central pane of glass management, where we can go in and see all the backup devices, all the backup accounts. We can set all those backup policies, and we're going to jump into and look at what setting those backup policies looks like here in a second. Now, again, important stuff to cover. There's no VPN required. So you don't have to install any VPN on those remote bring your own devices. There's no reboots. So you don't have to inconvenience the users when you're deploying it. And you, again, can enforce these policies. So make sure that they're backing up what you want, when you want. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the management demo. So here we can see we've got that dashboard again that we're looking at. Now, this lets me go in and manage all of these different things, see all the different alerting, run all those reports, set up all the monitoring, set up all the security. I can even do role-based security. So if I wanted to have multiple people be able to manage multiple things, we can see our different sites that we've got configured, our different backup accounts that we've got. So all the different groups of stuff we're backing up. Now let's go look at a backup policy. Right now we don't have any configured. So you want to create a new policy. You're going to see a lot of this is the same as what we saw earlier, right? First one, scanner settings. Scan all folders, personal folders. What types of stuff do we want to scan? Do we want to exclude any particular types of data? Now we can also put in includes and excludes here. So if there's specific stuff we want to hit or avoid, we have that ability. Now we have a backup set. Again, that's going to be for those folders. C:\users, C:\documents and settings. And we can also enable Live Protect here. Here we have our scheduler, but here we have a different option at the policy setting. We can use the system account, which I love, because that's going to back up everything on that machine. And even if a user changes their password or anything, it's still going to back it up. And then here we have a little bit of retention settings. So how long do we want to keep those backups? Now that we've created a backup policy, we can go take a look at creating a MSI installer package. So here we'll say we want to create a package. Now what this is a Microsoft installer package. We can go ahead and give it a name. So for wherever we want to deploy this to, we're going to put in Orlando. And then we can pick the policy we want it to obey. Now we have a lot of options here, right? We could make it invisible. Do we want the users to even see the client? Do we want the users to be able to log in and do their own restores or not? We can configure all that here. When we create this account, do we want to create it based off the user or the device name? And then we have templates on how we want to create those accounts. We also have the ability to set a default quota. So how much space can they use? And then we have an expiration date. Now, why would we have an expiration date? Kind of a weird option. It's out there because we update this software at least every quarter. So you really wouldn't want to be deploying old versions. So you're going to want to set this to expire every quarter, half a year, at least every year, so that you know that you're always rolling out a newer version of the solution. Now with that, I'll pause and see if we have any questions about the management aspect of this.
Yeah, I have a quick question. I don't know if it's about the management aspect necessarily, but from a backup perspective, I know you can do files and file types. Do you have the ability to back up full system images as well? And you know, if you have an endpoint that needs to restore because of some kind of attack or ransomware, where you can actually grab that whole system image and get it back quickly?
Yeah, absolutely. So we do have an option. This is one of the only options we charge for, to be able to do what we call a BMR, or bare metal recovery. So that's going to be able to do a full system backup. And then you can restore that full system back to the original location or to a different type of hardware or even to a virtual machine. So we do offer bare metal recovery, but that is one option and the only option that we charge for.
Question about the MSP use case. So I believe that you have a pretty good presence with MSPs in that you're sort of delegating control to them to be able to back up for their clients. Does this have, how do you group those policies together so that I'm just wondering if there's a way I can more easily scale this if I'm actually growing my business. I don't want to have to be managing this on an individual basis. How does the grouping mechanism work?
Yeah, so absolutely. The way that our dashboard's configured is it's multi-tiered. So as a partner or an MSP, you would have an MSP level, and then you can create companies under that. And each one of those can have their own administrators and their own policies. And you can push things around between those different levels. So it's really easy to say, all right, well, I've created this Orlando office, and I want to push these users into it and have them obey this backup policy. And that's actually one of the big benefits that we have over our competitors is that our dashboard is multi-tiered and geared towards being able to manage multiple offices, multiple companies. So even if you're a large enterprise, you want to manage all those offices, or you're an MSP and you want to manage all those customers, we have that functionality built into our dashboard.
Okay, thanks.
So are you saying that the capability to do file level restore is free? Or file level backup is free?
Well, so we're just going to charge you for what's being backed up into the cloud. So when you set these up and you deploy it, whether you're doing the scan or the folder base or whatever, and you're pushing that data up, anything that's stored up in the cloud is all that we're going to charge for. And we're only going to charge for the largest version of that file.
Okay, but if you do a bare metal restore, that's a separate charge?
Correct. We charge for the bare metal restore option.
Okay.
Now, with that being said, my favorite part, again, because I was a system administrator for a while, is the ability to monitor and report what's happening. Right? There have been many times in the past 20 years of my career, from being in tech support to all the different roles that I've had, where people have been like, oh, we went to go do a restore and we discovered that server never successfully backed up. Well, that's because you didn't have a great way to know what was going on. Now, we provide granular alerting and monitoring within our dashboard, automated reporting within our dashboard, and then we also provide APIs. So you can actually integrate this with any of your systems that you have now. So maybe you have some kind of custom built way that you're monitoring everything or deploying everything. We give you those public APIs to be able to do that. Now, a lot of MSPs work with third parties. And with that being said, ConnectWise and Autotask are kind of the bigger ones. We have pre-built plugins to hook into those. So if they're already using those, we can plug into those and help do ticketing and monitoring and billing and all the stuff that an MSP really cares about. And they don't even have to develop their own plugins or anything for that.